The problem of privilege is it never crosses the street to find out how we're doing. It's astonishing that politicians, we say they don't get it, and they don't, because they've never lived our side of the street. When David Cameron walked away, I was shocked to my bones, because he walked away into a world of privilege that was made greater because he'd been the Prime Minister of Britain. And he left devastation in his wake. I mean, he had the power over people's lives to make laws, to change laws. And when he'd had enough, he simply walked out the door. And we were left holding the ship, picking up the pieces that he's left behind. And the consequences of his time in power were what we had to continue to live with. And he's not answerable anymore. He's gone. And that's genuinely shocking. And the role of privilege in Britain is, it's paternalistic. It looks down from the top. There's no connection, but they decide how our lives ought to be lived, what we ought to be doing. When Damien Green said the gig economy is exciting, well, he doesn't live with the impact of the gig economy and never will. He lives a life of privilege. None of the politicians, none of the people who've imposed austerity on Britain have lived with it, have lived with the consequences of their imposed austerity. That is appalling. That's not politics. It's not just. There's no justice in that kind of politics. It's a disgrace. And it's an insult to every man, woman and child in this country. They accuse us of the politics of envy. And I don't envy them their position. I don't envy them their wealth, because they abuse both. And it's the abuse that I object to. And for them to call that envy is, again, this one side, this two-sided view, their view and my view. And I see it very differently to the way they see it. You know, their lives are built around privilege, and my life is not. And it's simply, it's wrong. They shouldn't have that kind of power without being accountable for it. But they're not accountable. You know, we'll have general elections. They will continue. We'll have local elections. In that sense, we can vote them in or out. But they don't pay a life price for what they do. We do. We pay the consequences of their actions. They walk away. That is not right.